These summer fragrances get insane compliments, and I'm about to give you 10 to take your confidence through the roof. I spent 96 weeks documenting every fragrance reaction, compliment, or lack thereof, sparking a new phenomenon, the weekly fragrance rotation. So I think I know a thing or two about compliments when it comes to fragrances. So if compliments are why you're here, have no fear because class is in session. First up, we have an underrated gem from Shea in Blue, and it's none other than Blood Oranges. This fragrance is not only versatile, sophisticated, and super smooth, but it's also juicy. Think like an orange starburst, but created by a Michelin star chef. On first spray, you're met with this blast of tangerine and orange. It's like you can envision peeling this fresh, juicy orange and just seeing the citrus just jump off of it every time you peel off a piece of the skin. But don't worry about it being dull or linear because it gets more interesting as the fragrance develops. Along with the citrus, you get this suave leather note along with this pine and musk that just happen to show up and knock on the door to join the party. That said, those notes add a more rugged, masculine edge. Look, it's not the longest lasting fragrance in the bunch, but coming in under $100 for a luxury niche fragrance with great quality, you really can't go wrong. It's a head turner and one you can count on when you're dressed to impress. Next, I invite you to check out a fragrance for one of the most prestigious mainstream fragrance brands out there. That happens to be the House of Clive Christian, and today we're talking about Town and Country. Now, this is not the run-of-the-mill fragrance. This one's more or less reserved for the bosses. There's a lot going on with this fragrance, but depending on who you might ask, they're going to tell you that this one smells like a wide range of fragrances, but better than, including, but not limited to, Dior Sauvage, Oud for Greatness, and BR 540. And I'd say that that's partly true. All of those are good fragrances that are known to draw people in, but with Town and Country, you get a little bit more magic. It comes packed with a flavorful twist of spice, ambergris, citrus, and sandalwood. The official note breakdown is simple, but it smells complex. But when you smell it, it's easy enough to understand and enjoy. Despite being the fragrance of choice for Winston Churchill, Town and Country doesn't feel dated at all. Plus, the sillage on this thing is pretty crazy. So if you want a fragrance that smells like royalty, sophistication, and a hint of English charm, then Town and Country might be your ticket. Just be prepared for the compliments to start rolling in. As I move to the next fragrance, I think it's important to note that these fragrances aren't in any particular order. Just know that if it made this list, then it works. That said, Versace Dylan Blue is up next. Dylan Blue is all about that aquatic, fresh, and mysterious vibe. It's like a breath of fresh ocean air from the minute that you spray it on. It's youthful, mass appealing, and a long-lasting compliment monster. If you're looking for a great everyday wear fragrance that's fresh, but versatile enough to wear in the fall and the winter, then this might be your jam. I asked more than 500 people on Instagram if Versace Dylan Blue was still a summer staple, and the verdict was clear. No matter if you're a fragrance connoisseur or just getting started on your fragrance journey, then Versace Dylan Blue will be an excellent addition to your collection, especially if compliments are part of the equation. When I think about our next fragrance, this one has become a bit of a legend, especially when compared to other discount designer fragrances, and that fragrance is none other than Montblanc Explorer. Often described as an alternative to Creative Vintage, Montblanc Explorer is a fruity, fresh, sophisticated fragrance that lives up to its reputation and continues to deliver. It'll draw attention, it'll get you compliments, and it's a fragrance that anyone can afford, so this is proof that you don't have to spend a car note to smell amazing. If I'm being honest, it's rare that I come across someone wearing this fragrance and not compliment them, so I think that says it all. The next fragrance is no stranger to most complimented fragrance lists. This one reigns supreme on many weekly fragrance rotations and found itself atop of many most complimented fragrance lists. So the fragrance that we're talking about is from Eccentric Molecules, and it's Molecule 01. To me, Molecule 01 is almost like air. It's everything and nothing all at the same time. Based on the note of ISO E Super, Molecule 01 is a super simple fragrance that has everything you need. It's subtle, it's woody, and a conversation starter, and as a bonus point, it can amplify almost any fragrance you place it with. Bonus tip, try layering Molecule 01 with Millesime Imperial to take your fragrance game to the next level. If we're talking compliments, then this next fragrance just makes sense. The fragrance I'm referring to is from Navitus Parfums, and this one is The Key. If you're new here, this is a fragrance I did in collaboration with Navitus Parfums a few years ago, and this one was made with the sole purpose of getting compliments. In fact, the name The Key means the key to compliments. Crafted by Dominic Ropillon, this one is a juicy, sweet fragrance that just lasts and is just good. It opens with the warm citrus. In the heart, you get this fizziness on account of the ginger, and then in the base, you get a little bit of tonka and a little bit of woods. This one is a banger, if I say so myself. From Navitus Parfums, we got The Key. For Mind Games, Blockade is up next, and to me, this one is a masterpiece of sorts. Blockade was love at first sniff for me. It gets tons of compliments, and everyone in my household loves this fragrance. Now, my bottle has seen better days, but this one is a road warrior. I take it with me a lot. Blockade is a mix of warm notes like leather, oud, and amber, but it's also balanced out by burst of mango, spicy pepper, and tomato leaf. However, there's this green mango and peppercorn. To me, those are the true stars of the show. With Blockade, you get a fragrance that's reminiscent to a vintage, but it's still very different. It's bold, addictive, inviting, and an all-around beast. There's at least 2 to 3 bottles of this one floating around my house at any given moment, so that should tell you everything you need to know. And then there were 3, but remember, if you're looking to save some serious cash while indulging to the world of luxury fragrances, then look no further than today's video sponsors, my friends over at MaxAroma.com. But here's the kicker, it's not just about saving with MaxAroma, it's about the entire experience. Sure, you'll find an extensive range of premium fragrances at unbeatable prices, but it doesn't stop there. MaxAroma is all about giving that top-notch experience. With their 100% customer satisfaction guarantee, you can shop stress-free knowing you'll be taken care of every step of the way. And that peace of mind is priceless. From timeless classics to up-and-coming fragrance sensations, MaxAroma has everything you need to elevate your fragrance rotation. Before we go, picture this. A place where you can snag your favorite fragrances at a fraction of the cost. With MaxAroma, that's no longer a dream, it's a reality. So if you're ready to boost your confidence and make a statement with a new or a not so new fragrance, then head over to MaxAroma.com to begin saving today. And now, let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming. Moving on, we have Sedley from Parfum de Marly, another fragrance that has been a staple for me in my fragrance rotation, especially when it comes to compliments. Sedley is a sophisticated take on mint without being that cliche take on mint, and to me, that just adds to its allure. Plus, it's clean, like clean. This fragrance is so clean, it is often compared to a shower gel that you might find at a luxury hotel. Now, I've done my fair share of travels and staying at luxury hotels and presidential suites, etc., but maybe I'm not bougie enough because I've never come across a shower gel that smells like Sedley. But at any rate, it does smell clean and it's super inviting. It has a minty freshness to the overall composition, plus you get a hint of lavender, and you also get some woods, so at its core, it's really a traditional men's fragrance stack. You get that citrus in the top, you get some florals in the heart, and you get the woods in the base. However, despite how traditional this fragrance might smell, it's a head turner for sure. This next fragrance is another one that I had a hand in creating. From Navitus Parfums, we have Siesta Drive. Making this fragrance was supposed to be reminiscent of my travels from Baltimore down to Florida, specifically through my drive of Siesta, and let me tell you, it definitely changed things up a bit. Imagine it's summertime, the sun's beating down on you, and you're just craving something sexy, sweet, and citrusy. Well, if that's the case, then Siesta Drive's got you covered. It's Sicilian lemon, you got bergamot, there's some pink pepper here, and it's like this lemon cake, but it's not your grandma's lemon cake. It's creamy mascarpone cheese, a dash of vanilla, a hint of musk, sweet, refreshing, and unavailable. Listen, I don't see this fragrance coming back anytime soon. So if you have it, you're already leaps and bounds above the competition, making you smell that much more irresistible, and compliments should roll in. With performance that lasts from sun up to sundown, you'll be turning heads and making noses jealous all day long. And next we have another super clean fragrance from the House of Bond, one of my personal favorites. This one is Lafayette Street. Now I have noticed that recently Lafayette Street is getting more challenging and difficult to find unless you know the right places, like my friends over at MaxAroma.com. Lafayette Street is a fresh, clean, inviting, invigorating fragrance that personally I can't get enough of. Every time I wear this fragrance, I just feel good. People are flocking to me, and I feel good about that because the compliments do roll in. If you're looking for a shot to your confidence factor, then Lafayette Street could be that for you. Oftentimes I've connected on lives, and when I do that with EQ or Bowtie Fragrance Guy, this one often comes into the conversation because, well, it's just that good. If you're looking for a fresh, clean, inviting fragrance that lasts, like last, then this is one of those fragrances that you need to add to your collection. But just remember, it ain't cheap. So now that you know that these 10 fragrances get insane compliments, click here to see 10 designer fragrances that drive her crazy.